The crisis in the Middle East requires world leaders of steely resolve, impeccable competence, bold ambition. Take a look at US President Joe Biden's press briefing on board a plane out of Israel and tell me if you think he's up to the job.
Virtually every mass shooting, every circumstance where a large number of people have been victimized and lost, I've spoken to. I learned a long time ago, but you've all learned in your life.
Oh, I mean, come on. Come on. It's cruel. It's cruel on this guy. I really seriously do think it is actually unfair on Joe Biden to keep him in power. You can't be behaving like that. Just put a blanket over him, push him towards the looking window. But is that man really running the world's greatest superpower? Even more shocking is his clearly declining 80-year-old is planning to run for office again next year. He's not run anywhere, is he? He's just shuffled to office next year. Against Donald Trump, no less. Sleepy Joe flew to Germany as he announced $100 million in aid for humanitarian assistance in Gaza. Although even he admitted that there was a chance that it would end up in the hands of Hamas. The whole thing is just insane. Insane. Sean, this guy's got to go.
Do you know, I think they need to get the Vice President to take some more of the burden. It doesn't matter.
She's terrible.
Hold on, she is terrible, but he's beginning seriously to look incapable. He clearly didn't know what was going on at that moment.
No.
If that was one of my parents, I would have intervened. And this man, he could say something.
He has moments of clarity.
Come on.
But he does.
But Alison, he could say something that causes a real world problem.
Or do
it's not funny anymore. It's not funny. They need to get someone else to help him out.
Amy, is it any wonder that Putin has had a bang on Ukraine and that now Hamas have decided to do what they've done in Israel and goodness knows what else?
I mean,
if I was China, I'd be looking at Taiwan going, oh, here we go.
I don't know. I don't think that's entirely fair because, you know, Joe Biden knows foreign diplomacy inside out and knows the situation in the Middle East better than perhaps anyone. So
hang on a minute.
He's done all right.
Did you see the video?
I saw the video, but
but also he's given billions to Iran. I'm sorry, this is not a man. If he knows international diplomacy inside out, he's messed it up. He's given billions to Iran.
Look, Alison,
I'm no Trump fan, but would this stuff have been happening under Donald Trump? I don't think so, I'm afraid.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Trump was,
Look, do you think that the kindest thing to do is to just, someone put an arm around Joe Biden and
What have you suggested?
He won't even know. Just tell him he's still president.
Put a blanket over him.
Just tell him he's still president. Just go, all right, Joe, we're going over here now. Well, you're going to be president over here in a farm somewhere in Utah.
If you put the clips to one side, he's doing okay.
You can't put the clips to one side. Look,
if you ignore him, if you ignore the president.
The incredible thing is he says he's going to do another term. That's the incredible thing.
He can't.
And I tell you what, I'm just telling you what he said.
I know, yeah.
And the campaign in America is long and brutal. I wonder if it's right to put him through that again.
I actually just physically don't think he could. And you know what I think it does? It makes a mockery of the idea of American democracy, because they make a massive virtue of this in America, as indeed they should. They go out and they lecture the world, they fight the world very often over democracy, and then they have a bloke there who, in my view, absolutely cannot be running the country. He cannot be running the country. So the people have gone out to vote for something and vote for someone who is not pulling the levers of power.
The question is, who is running the country? If you're an American, you voted for Joe Biden, somebody else would appear to be in charge. And at least tell us who that person is. And that's why I say I'm astonished that they're selling him as doing another term.
But the greatest democracy in the world and still no female leader. I mean, it looks pathetic, really. I mean, some of the Middle Eastern countries, Israel had Golda Meir and so on. It just looks terrible, and they're addicted to having the gerontocracy. Very elderly men. There must be a country of hundreds of millions of people. There has to be. They could go randomly in a Starbucks and pick someone.
Well, there's no way. If that's the best that America's got to offer, then good grief.